Today we're going to talk about SRC, or Scholastic Reading Counts reading. So this is a PowerPoint that I have that can be used other years. So a few things in here we'll talk about in class, but most of it applies just the same if you're online. So first of all, the question is, what is SRC? SRC stands for Scholastic Reading Counts. It is the computer program that Scholastic created that we use here from about second grade on to monitor students' independent reading comprehension. Students are able to take tests over a huge range of books in this program. I have used other programs before, and this one is the one that I've seen that has the widest range of books. Scholastic is a big children's publisher, so they have most popular children's titles on their site. LV students here start using SRC in second grade. And as you get to third grade, then everyone uses it. So unless your student is new to the district, they have already been on this program at school. So even though it's been a little while, it should come back to them because the program is very similar, even though the housing moved to online this summer. Once you actually get in, it's very much the same as it always was. So each fourth grade class has a class library with books that are testable. That, of course, applies more to when students are here in person, but I do have lots of books here, so if you're having trouble finding them, I have several different ways I can help you find books for your students to use. And most of the books that they have at the Newark Public Library will also have tests. So in fourth grade, we have a set of grade level expectations, and those are that each student reads at least one chapter book independently each month. And by chapter book, I mean a book that is mostly words and is longer than like 100 pages-ish. So I'm looking for No Cat in the Hat, or Go Dog Go, or those kind of stories. I want something that is a little bit longer because there's only one per month. It needs to be a longer book. So all LV students, K-12, are expected to read at least 20 minutes per day outside of school hours. And in fourth grade, we count this time as part of our homework expectations. Now for you folks at home, all of the hours are kind of outside of school hours, since you can set things the way that you need them a little bit, but they do need to be spending at least 20 minutes a day reading a book that they have picked. And that can be any kind of novel type book that they've picked, but they do need to be, the 20 minutes is apart from the assignments for class. So students are expected to read a book that is at their reading level or a grade appropriate level. So I don't want them, like I said before, reading, picture books with the Cat in the Hat or something like that. We measure reading levels here in fourth grade using Lexiles, and those come from the MAP test. So once everyone has finished their MAP test, I will send out the report with it, and I'll let you know what that Lexile is. However, I am flexible. They can go a little above or below, as long as it's a book that is a decent sized chapter book. I'm usually pretty good with it. But you can also go to Lexile.com to find a Lexile for pretty much any book that you want to read if you're not sure. They have a little box that's up in the corner, and it says find a book with Lexiles, and you can put the title or the author in, and it will tell you a book to read. You can also use that site to get book suggestions. So you can put in the level and it'll tell you books that are at that level. SRC tests do count toward the standard of reading and comprehending grade level appropriate text. So the grades that they get on those do go towards their report card. They are welcome to take more tests than one in a month, and I always go with the highest score that they get. So it doesn't ever hurt to take more than one test. So next I'm going to talk about how to test. That first part doesn't really apply to you because they don't have the opportunities here at school and the school computers, but you can take the tests from home. So there is a link in the student section of the LV website, which I will show you here in just a second, that you use to get into the test. And then the username for that site is your student's lunch number. And since it's been a little while since we've been in here, I added this little next bit for you. If they've forgotten their lunch number, you can message me and I can send it to you. And then the password is LV, that lunch number again, and the @sign, and the L is capital. So when you go in, you get a page that looks like this, which I will leave in the PowerPoint, but now I'm actually going to show you what it looks like when you go into the site. So I'm going to go over here. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Share screen. Excuse my face there. I'm going to scoot me down a little bit. There we go. All right, so you're going to go to the Licking Valley website, which is just lickingvalley.k12.oh.us. And this is what that site looks like. And then at the top, you have all of these different options, and you're going to go to Students. And you're going to scroll down just a little bit, and it's going to say Scholastic Reading Counts and Reading Inventory. And that's the link that you're going to need to use. That's also the link that I have on the class page. I moved the links into the ELA page, so you can get on there as well if you want to. So once you get onto the page, you're going to put in your student's lunch number, and then that password, capital L, lowercase v, and the lunch number @ and click sign in. All right, so when you get in, this is the screen that you will see. Instead of my child's name, it'll have your child's name. And this is the central website. So the reading inventory is kind of like a placement test. We don't do that. We use the MAP test for that. So you would go, if you're ready to take a test, into Reading Counts, and that's where it's going to look a lot like it always has in the past for your students. This screen will look really familiar because this is the one that they would normally see. And you have different choices. You can take a quiz, which is where you go and you put in the title of the book. You can check your progress, so that'll give you a printout of all of the tests that they've taken and what the scores that they got were. You can pick your reading interests, which lets you go in and talk about the things you would like to read about. And then once you've done that, you can get a reading list, and it'll actually recommend books for you. So if I want to find a quiz, I'm going to go here, and I'm going to type in the name of the book. So I would put in, like right now, the book that we're reading in class is that The Kid in the Red Jacket. And then I click find it, and it comes up and there's a test on it. So you would click go to take the quiz. But if I just wanted to see if there was a test on a book, I can go back to the menu here and it won't open the quiz up. So I can just go back and then log out and wait until I'm done with the book. So it's that easy to take a quiz. That's all there is to it. So let me go back here to this. And I just have a couple of frequently asked questions. First of all is, how do I find out if a book has a test? And I showed you how to do that just now. Can I log on from my home computer? Yes, you can. You have to follow the link through the website though. Do graphic novels count as chapter books? Things like Dog Man, Captain Underpants, Bad Guys? Yes, they do. What if I want to read a book that doesn't have a test? If you have a book, you're dying to read it, you can't find a test on it, I can give you a different assignment to do with your book so that you can still read that book and get credit for it. There are 10 questions on each test. And this one is one that the kids always ask me, can I take the test after watching the movie instead of reading the book? And the answer is you can try that, but you probably won't pass because the questions are really nitpicky. And they tend to base the questions on things that were different in the book. They watch the movies before they take before they write the questions, and they generally tend to be, you can't pass it if you've only seen the movie. So that is some information on how to do Scholastic. Remember, you need to have one book done and tested for each month. So by the end of September, I need to be able to get on and see that you have taken a book. If you have any questions, as always, please make sure you let me know, and I will see you next time.